here's another video that it's not very fun to make for me, but nonetheless I'm going to make it anyways. This is the systematic murder of 3 million people by the Ottoman Empire from 1915 to 1923. Let's start with the Armenians. In this region of Turkey at that point lived almost exclusively Armenians. This general area. We had the city of Van, city of Kars, which were the two cities where the most Armenians were led on death marches. In these two cities, the Armenian inhabitants were expelled. The cities were burned down right in front of them. They were sent with no food at all, and they were sent on a death march to Syria, to the Syrian desert. And they were to be walked all the way through Syria with like a loaf of bread a day. Not a loaf, like just a tiny bit of bread a day. And they were going to end up going here. If they were here, most of them got shot. And if you stopped walking at any time during this journey, you'd get shot. But so most people would just walk themselves to the point where they collapse or pass out, and if they passed out, they'd get shot. Now, in this area of Turkey and in this area of Turkey lived some Greeks, and they suffered the same horrible fate. Here, the Pontic Greeks, who lived in this area of Turkey, had their cities burned down, and they were also led on a similar death march to the Syrian desert, under the exact same conditions as the Armenians. Now, here, the famous incident of Ionia, the Horrors of Ionia, it's called. This city, which was once called Ionia, was burned down by Mustafa Kemal's Turkish army, and the Greek inhabitants, most of whom couldn't swim, were led into the ocean. The Greek Navy tried its best to evacuate the citizens to Greece, but 60 to 75% of them didn't make it, and they also were led into the sea, only to watch their burning city behind them. The Turks claimed the city wasn't burned down on purpose. The Turks claimed that the city was accidentally burned down, and that them leading the Greeks into the sea was them rightfully evacuating them. But honestly, they probably have a higher chance of surviving staying in the burning city than where they were led. Now, the last few areas I'm going to go over is Istanbul and Thrace, where instead of getting marched right here towards Greece, the Greeks were marched all the way across Turkey into the Syrian desert. And Greek businesses and homes in Istanbul, which was called Constantinople back then, were burned. Now, in this region of Iraq lived some Assyrians, which were a Christian minority ethnic group, and there's a reason you've never heard of them. Most of them didn't make it. They were also, their villages, including Mosul, were burned to the ground, and they were led on a death march to Syria, and most of them didn't make it. Now, the difference between them and the Armenians and Greeks. Some Armenians lived in the Russian Empire, so they were safe from the genocide. Most Greeks lived in Greece, but the Assyrians lived totally within the Ottoman borders, and therefore almost all of them died. So, there you go. I hate to make this video, but this is covering the Greek, Armenian, and Assyrian genocides committed by the Ottoman Empire, which Turkey still refuses to admit happened, but they did. And Turkey needs to be made and put under pressure to recognize these events as genocide. So yeah, there you have it.